Hello, I'm Anna Delman. It is day number 192 of my personal conversation that I'm having with myself. I write it down on little pieces of paper every day. I'm doing that for 365 days, and I'm sharing my conversations for my personal growth with others, hopefully to encourage other people along the way as well. My note for today is as follows. Today, my ongoing conversation, the talks I have with myself, are going to include what I'm learning from my reading. I have much to learn and to share. And a little note to those of you who are following along, welcome to the ongoing conversation. Of course, anything I say, you're welcome to comment on and include yourself in it. Be encouraged and share your journey as well. So what is going to be a little bit different? Not the personal challenges I am ironing out within myself. I will continue to talk about that and to share. However, I'm starting to take the next step in getting my written works completed. It is November and it's almost the end of the month, and December's around the corner, and then it's 2026, and I have yet to finish the non-fiction work I have worked on for a long time. Actually, when I think about it, it goes down to even what my master's degree thesis was based on, and things that have just disturbed me along the way, and then coming here in this location where God just put a spotlight on everything and made everything I had studied and written about in my thesis so personal to me and my experiences here that I should have responsibly made a better study of it and written about it then. But here we are, 2025, and I will do so. Now, way back then, before I journeyed here, I did make a photocopy of a book. I have read this book before, but I wanted to read through it again. It was one of the books I used in my thesis, and it was on church hurts. What do you do? What's the next step to take after that has occurred? Wherever you are in the world, these things happen, friends. And it anyway, so I have this photocopy. I have marked it up, and I haven't looked at it in 11 years, and so here we go again. The title of the book is Spiritual Desertions, and it is by Gisbertus Vutius and Johannes Huenbeek, and it's obviously, it was written in 1659. Obviously, it has been translated. I think it was written in Dutch, so it is translated into English. And so as I read through it, I'm going to be sharing with you, because many of you, wherever you are in the world, if you've experienced difficulties in your church environment or even parachurch or in your community, whatever it is, you know how hard that can be. So let me just turn the pages here. I have already read a bit of it this morning, and I don't need to go. So here's my first note. Obviously, as I said, this is written in 1659. My note to myself: old writings show us our Christian forefathers were focused on discipleship and spirituality. And how do we know this, friends? They thought about it. They read things in the Word of God. They had common experiences amongst themselves in their communities, in their churches, and then they wrote about it. This book, which is two different authors, it's rather, I would say, longish essays each of them wrote, and so it was combined into one book. They obviously experienced things in their Christian walk, and they needed to iron it out for themselves and to understand it in a greater way. Thus, this book. And then another note: when we're asking questions, trying to understand, we're looking for answers to address our difficult days. Sometimes my handwriting is so bad I can barely read it myself. I'm going to have to do a better job, especially if I'm to share. So let me say that again. When we're asking questions, trying to understand, we're looking for answers to address our difficult days. Now, friends, when I say difficult days or difficult day, I'm not referring to a week or 2 or 3. Difficult days can be years. It can be 10. It can be 20. It can be a lifetime. What are difficult days? By that, I think we can say it can be more than 24 hours. Over a period of time, days add up, and then when there is no change, we may believe we are being abandoned. When you are in a very difficult situation, you've begged God, you have tried to be strong so everybody around you can see what a remarkable testimony you have before a community, before a church. Eventually, those people get tired of hearing what you're saying. They think you should get over it, suck it up and get on, right? Have you heard that? Have you seen it on people's expressions? I certainly have. Sometimes it's just we are in a difficult situation. Now, I have in the past, when I've shared difficult experiences with my very mature, godly friends, I know they have become irked at me. And I'm not criticizing them, because we are all on a path to maturity and growth. But some of them would get irritated with me after a period of time because they thought I should examine myself. Why am I having these problems all the time? Now, I saw a movie a couple of years ago, and in the movie, this young woman, it was a Christian movie, was having a problem, and the same thing it was with relationships. She had them over and over and over again, and she desperately wanted to be married. And she kept getting the same problems in every relationship she had. Her pastor said to her, I don't know what God is trying to teach you, but let's work on it together. Let's figure out, because when her life was examined, she wasn't in error. I don't even know the name of the movie. I saw it on YouTube. But she was having a difficult time. Now, this pastor dealt with it correctly. His understanding, I'm very sorry, I don't know what's going on in your life. I don't know what God's trying to teach you. And I'm sorry this has happened to you yet again. Now, when you keep going through church difficulties and church struggles, it doesn't mean, it can be that you're the problem, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are. It can be that God is trying to teach you something. And in my situation, goodness, friends, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in Bible stuff. And I had to be taught that what he wanted from me was to be focused solely on a vertical relationship. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm above everybody, that I'm so special that he wanted me to have a one-on-one relationship with him above and beyond anybody and everybody else. No. He's known me from my youth. He's known me from before time. He knew me before I was born. He knew what my days would be. He knew what my struggles would be. And he fine-tuned those struggles for me to put him first, him the center of my life, and him the focus. Now, the reason I'm stressing all of that is because one or two of you, maybe more, could be dealing with the same thing. Friends, if you're going through the same struggle time after time after time, it doesn't mean you're in error. You could be, as I've said before, but it could be that God is trying to teach you something, and the only way we are going to deal with it is one-on-one before him. It looks differently for each of us, but the solution comes through one-on-one with him. So on page 13 of this book, still part of the introduction, fear of desertion or abandonment by God. This is not my handwriting. I'm reading the text. These are my reading spectacles, and still I am not focusing well. So fear of desertion or abandonment by God was a common experience in the church of the late Middle Ages, and Martin Luther struggled with spiritual depression, the heaviness of heart. Okay, yet there were many, a new paragraph, yet there were many in the church who knew the dangers of success and the frailty of even mature Christians. Some of these latter people who took their religion seriously were aware of the gulf between profession and practice in themselves and others. You can have all the wonderful experience. You could have been born in the church, meaning your parents were strong, godly pillars of the faith, and you were brought up from day one in a godly home, basically born in the church. You could have had the maturity by the time you were 10 years old of many believers who only reached that in their 30s and 40s because of the instruction you had. God is your Father, and if He wants you to learn something, He will take you to the opposite ends of the world for you to learn it, the importance and the integrity of it. You are not isolated. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are in His grip, and He's teaching you as He's teaching me. So I'm going to be reading some more, and day by day, as I work my way through this, and as I make the notes to finish the book, I will include you in the conversation. So until tomorrow, take care and God bless. Whoops, and we will talk again. Bye-bye for now.